welcome to Glass Online School. This is our Counseling Corner. And today on Counseling Corner, I want to discuss a very important topic. But then if you've not subscribed to our channel, do well to subscribe. Share it so that so many others will benefit from it. And today, we are going to take one of our series, and that's going to be on sex education. On this topic, we're going to have series of episodes on this because we find out that majority of our young ones do not understand what sex education is, and our normal school system is not actually teaching them what they are supposed to know. And so on this corner today, on counseling section, we are going to deliberate on what sex education is and why we need sex education. What actually is sex education? It has to do with the individual, be it a girl or a boy, understanding his body changes. At some point in our life, we experience different changes that goes on with our bodies. But we find out that so many young ones do not understand how their body changes. And so on this corner, we are going to deliberate on emotional relations, human sexual anatomy, sexual control, sexual production, age of consent, productivity rights, safe sex, birth control, abstinence, and a host of others. So it's a pleasure to welcome you. I'm not here alone. Let me welcome my co-host, and she is
Pauline by name.
welcome. And so, I want to use a simple illustration to actually let our students know why we teach them sex education. Sex education is like a teacher teaching you how to drive, and the teacher explains to you all that is before you in the steering. He tells you where the brake is and the rest of them before you, and then he goes further to tell you what is underneath that bonnet, and further tells you which mechanic handle various problems that can happen to your vehicle. That's to say, you're already pre-informed about how driving looks like, what you need to know, what you need to do. That's how sex education is. Sex education tries to expose you to your world as a person, your world of development. At each stage of your life, what you're going to experience, what you are going to meet, and how you are able to handle these challenges, because they are challenges. We find out that young individuals are not able to handle these challenges well, and at the end of the day, they fall into problems that they cannot explain. And so we are here to help you. We are here to deliberate extensively on what sex education is. And so let me hear what my co-host's view is on sex education.
Yeah, sex education actually is the learning about the cognitive, emotional, social, interactive and physical aspects of sexuality. It starts early in childhood and progresses through adolescence and finally adulthood. It also involves the equipping and empowering children and young people with information, skills and positive values to understand and enjoy their relationship, and also take responsibility too for their own and other people's sexual health and well-being. It also involves the safe and fulfilling relationship. So all these are sex education.
So, having seen what sex education is, like I've earlier said, I have mentioned a number of things that sex education covers. That's the scope of sex education. So having seen the scope of sex education, we want our learners, our students, those who are listening to us right now, to pass from childhood to adolescent age to adulthood with joy, not with sorrow, not with pain, falling into some kind of sexual deformity. When I mean deformity in that aspect is not understanding your body and then doing things you ought not to do. We don't want it. So we want our students to be well informed, pre-informed, have the knowledge. Sex education has to do with the knowledge you will know and you will have as an individual to help you pass through these stages. Why do we need sex education? So we go to the advantages of sex education. We need sex education because of various reasons. I want to hear from my co-host. Why do you think that students, particularly those from the ages of 8 till 18, let's take that range for example, because all ages need it. Why do you think they actually need sex education in their life?
The truth is, the age of modernization and progress has virtually opened a Pandora box of opportunities and choices for these youngsters. These youngsters are really unpredictable and risk-taking. In fact, this makes them really vulnerable to the things that are passing by. Like I said before, modernization. They can go to the internet. They can learn it from their peers. And once they learn these things, to erase that thing from their memory,
it will just stop the
I am telling you. And once it gets to that stage, definitely there is no turning back. No matter what you tell them, they will not listen. So if they are pre-informed about this sex education, they will know the steps to take in life. Okay, what about in our environment today? We see young ones, like the children, teen pregnancies, here and there. In fact, I call them children giving birth to children. Do you see it?
Correct.
Then what about the abortion aspect? That one is no gray area. STDs and sexual transmitted disease, it's everywhere today. So this really shows that they are really unaware of what sex education. Because if they do, they will not be going through all these series of pains they pass through in their lives. You go to the street today, you see little children with pregnancy here and there. Probably they will carry one at their back too. And ask them, where's the father of these kids?
They won't even
They won't be able to tell you where it comes from.
Some even have 2 children for different fathers.
You see? So sex education truly will channel their energies into something that will make them be a better person in future.
And more productive, I think.
Very true.
Thank you very much. You see, social media, the internet, have actually, it's good and it's bad too. Why do I say it's good and it's bad? Because it equipped us in a better way to live our life, give us more information. But for these young ones, they don't even go to the internet to search for information that much. They just go there to do things that ordinarily they are not supposed to know at the age that they are. So they need to be taught, they need to know, they need to learn, they need to they need help. So sex education is important so that they don't learn it the wrong way, like you said. Because what they will learn from the internet, they may not understand it fully and know how to get about it.
And above all, they want to practice it
the way they see it.
Yes, without thinking about the risks involved in it.
Yes. So that's one advantage one will feel that young individuals need to learn about sex education. Another thing I think is it has to successfully delay their sexuality. Because if one is pre-informed about his sexual behavior or his sexual anatomy, the child knows at what age he or she is ripe to have sex. Not just diving into sex because friends are saying about it, the internet is saying about it, people are just talking about it, so I just want to go practice. No, they're not the rightful age to go into it. Then secondly, like you talk about pregnancy, yes, when they understand what is happening to them, like in this corner we're going to talk about abstinence and birth control. But majorly we are preaching abstinence for this young individual, because this abstinence will actually help them to know that I have to pass through this bloom of youthful vigor in order to meet this challenge at this particular time and pass through it successfully. That's another thing I think we help this individual, and they need to understand what changes they have in their body. I have met so many young ones that don't even know anything about sex education. Our parents, our guardians, our schools, they need to do something about it. Sex education don't just have to be biology class. What are they being taught in biology class? it has to be a curriculum of its own, because they are taught little in their biology class that is not even able to see them through these stages. So we need it as a curriculum. It is important. The parents, you see, some parents will tell you this child is too young to know about sex. I've met children between the ages of 13 and 14 that don't know anything about their sexuality. And when you talk to them and you see that they are so ignorant of this whole thing, if somebody peep it into their ear, you see the way they will just accept it, grab it. But when they start at an early age, each stage of their life, they see changes in their body. They know, oh, I know what this is. Oh, that's why I actually had that course then. That's why I studied. Oh, yeah. So they are happy. They pass through the age. They pass through these stages, and they are happy passing through these stages, seeing their experience in themselves and being able to pass through it in a happy mood. But once they don't know anything about it, they begin to question, what's happening to my body? Why is this happening like this? And their peers
will give them wrong information.
So another advantage is not for them to have the wrong kind of information from their friends, from their peer groups, from others, even others who are adults who want to sort of misuse the opportunity they have, a sort of wants to destroy the future of these children. They can come in and give them wrong information so that they can take advantage of these young individuals. No, we don't want it. Both adults, both their peer groups, we don't want them to teach them the wrong kind of things. And so, on Class Online School, we are devoted to tell you what sex education is, what you are to expect as an individual, be you a boy or a girl, the stages of life you are going to pass through, and to help you pass through them successfully. Remember, I always tell you that we are your community. We love you, and we want you to grow into adulthood with joy, with peace of mind, and with happiness. We are happy to be with you here. Remember, this program is not a monologue, it's a dialogue between all of us here and between us with you. Give us a comment below. Tell us your challenges, or send us an email. The email will be provided below this video. Please send us an email. Tell us what you are facing. Tell us what you want us to cover that we've not covered. I will be happy to do that. Thank you for being part of Class Online School. And from my co-host, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.